Hi and welcome back to Tristan channel. In this video I wanted to do something that crosses film and reality, etc. Now you may have heard of the cult classic The Blair Witch Project, excluding the sequels. They were shit, to be honest. Even though the film is fictional, it stirred popular controversy sorry, with possible truths or rumours that there is some truth to it. Now, the whole film itself is pure fiction, but the Blair Witch herself was based off a real woman accused of being a witch. Her name was Molly Dyer. And I'm sure, just like me, you find this sort of stuff fascinating. So, Molly Dyer is the name of a legendary 17th century resident of Leonard Town, Maryland, who is said to have been accused of witchcraft and chased out of her home by local townsfolk on a winter's night. Her body was allegedly found a few days later, partially frozen to a large stone. Right. Legend has it a deadly plague like influenza and poor crops had taken their toll on the small Leonard Town community, and the particular harsh weather meant that people were fearful of not making it through the season. A deeply religious and puritanical, I can butcher that, community, the townsfolk turned to superstition, claiming the famine, disease and ice storms were the product of witchcraft. A meeting in the local church determined that Molly Dyer, an older woman who lived on the southern edge of town, was the witch in question and had called upon the devil to terrorize the people of Leonard Town. Right. Events rapidly escalated, and a mob was formed with the intent of running her out of town. Upon arrival, the mob surrounded and set fire to her hut, with Moll barely managing to escape, run past the crowd into the woods. Some accounts claim Molly Dyer saw the mob approaching and fled quickly, with only enough time to grab a light shawl for warmth. Regardless of the telling, she runs for miles until her legs give in. Knowing she would die of exposure before sunrise, she found a small boulder and placed her right hand upon it. She then raised her left hand to the moon and called down a curse on the people of Leonard Town. Days later, her body was found frozen to the stone, with her hand still held upwards to the sky. The details of the curse are variable depending on the teller, but usually fall in the realm of blighted crops, infertility, child mortality, or familial misfortune. Her spirit is said to still haunt the land surrounding Leonard Town, looking for the men who forced her from her home. It is also claimed that a handprint of discoloured stone can occasionally be seen on the Moldire rock in front of the Tudor Hall mansion. Many supernatural events are reported near the modern-day Dyer Road, a branch off of Maryland Route 5, that is claimed to be the site of either her residence or death. Reports of shadow people, will-o'-the-wisps, a white dog causing car accidents, a thick unnatural fog, and frequent lightning strikes are all common. As with all folk tales, the story has been passed down through the generations and changes with the telling. In 1994, Thomas Jabot conducted a series of interviews with 10 local residents, including a member of the Dyer family, a local historian, and several people from families that have lived in the county since the 1600s. According to these interviews, Moll Dyer may have come from England, Ireland, Virginia, Kentucky, New England, or Connecticut. She is said to have been a spinster, a widow, a woman scorned in love, or the mother of 2 sons. Well, she must have been a mother to 2 sons. No. She may have been born as a Dyer or married a man named Dyer. 2 people said they have heard her name as Mouldy Dyer, and that she was a Native American, likely Chaptico, made abandoned by a white lover after the birth of their child. Sorry if I butchered that name. The date of her death varied from the mid-1600s to late 1700s, as Leonard Town was established as Seymour Town in 1660. This would place her as a very early colonialist, most likely English and Catholic. Several people said they thought she had come to Maryland because it was more religiously tolerant than other colonies. Since the Anglican Church was formed about a century prior, and English Catholics often fled to the Americas to escape persecution, this aspect of the tale could be plausible. As I mentioned before, according to the legend, Moll Dyer rested on a large stone before she died, leaving indentations, either hands, knees, or both, behind. This rock was lost for centuries until 1968, when a writer for the Washington Evening Star, Philip H. Love, read about the legend in a local historical journal and sought to locate the rock. A grocer who lived nearby claimed to have known about the rock since he was a young boy, leading Love to the location. In 1972, the 875-pound limestone boulder was moved by the National Guard from a wooded ravine near Moll Dyer Road to Leonard Town Courthouse lawn in front of the old 1876 jailhouse. A simple plaque near the rock read, Moll Dyer Rock, circa 1697. The Moll Dyer Rock sat in this location for nearly 50 years until early 2021, when the St. Mary's County Historical Society relocated the large stone to the grounds of the Tudor Hall, where the Historical Society has its headquarters. Today the rock sits under a plexiglass covering and has some elaborate plaque detailing the events of the legend. Oh, my tete. Alright, touching the stone allegedly causes people to feel nauseous, dizzy, or otherwise deeply uncomfortable. It is also said to bring illness and misfortune to one's family. Small offerings, flowers, sweets, trinkets, mittens, etc. are often left near the stone to nullify the effects of the curse. What we know about her historically. Fucking lighting. Right. The legend of Moll Dyer is an oral history folktale that has been told in the region of St. Mary's County for decades, if not centuries. Legend keeps Moll Dyer was a 17th century colonialist in Leonard Town, Maryland. Dates surrounding the origin of this folktale are hazy, but the consensus is that the events took place during a February in the late 1690s, during the Maryland witch trials that resulted in multiple acquittals and one recorded death. Bodged a bit earlier, but fucking lighting. Typical. There are currently no known primary sources, census or data, or otherwise firmly historical evidence to prove that the events of this legend occurred. Records of Leonard Town's colonial period are often considered incomplete, since many were lost in the fire that destroyed the town. Courthouse on 8th of March 1831. Despite dubious sourcing, claims made to verify the story will often cite the following. Several immigration records show that Mary Dyer, Marge Dyer, and Maligo Dyers were transported to Dorchester County, Maryland in October 1677 on a ship commanded by Captain Thomas Taylor. In the late 1600s, Mole was a nickname for Mary, along with any female name beginning with the letter M. I think he's biting me. A great epidemic occurred in southern Maryland in 1697-98. In the 18th of August 1892 edition of the St. Mary's Beacon edition 604, volume 52, Joseph F. Morgan wrote that Mole lived in the area for many years and that a cottage was burned while Cotton Mather held sway in the lands of the Puritans. There were several witchcraft trials in Maryland starting in 1654 and continued until 1712. Rebecca Fowler of the neighbouring Calvert County was hanged as a witch on 9th of October 1685. In recent years, community efforts have attempted to revive the legend of Mole Dyer. Pardon me. Several links have been made, even by the St. Mary's County government, to an alleged real woman named Mary Dyer, who was possibly born in Devon, England in 1634 and first shows up in records in 1669 as indentured servant in the Virgin Islands. In 1677, the same woman would travel by Captain Thomas Taylor's ship to Dorchester, Maryland. It is unclear if this Mary Dyer ever resided or died in Leonard Town. These claims have been taken up and printed in several publications, including the Washington Post, though their veracity is up for debate. In 2021, Leonard Town Mayor Damburus declared February 26 to be Mole Dyer Day, as a tribute to the town's rich history. In pop culture, the Weather Channel aired an episode about Mole Dyer in the series American Supernatural on 5th of October 2014. Sister Witch, The Life of Mole Dyer, was written by local novelist David W. Thompson and published by Solstice Publishing on October 31st, 2017. Inspired by Mole Dyer's life, it pulls together the historical record and local oral traditions surrounding her legend. Mole Dyer's Revenge, written by St. Mary's County native and author Mike Marcus, was published in the anthology From the Yonder, a collection of horror from around the world, in February 2020 from War Monkey Publications LLC. The legend of the witch Mole Dyer was choreographed by St. Mary's Ballet founder Jane Caputo and set to the music of Lorena McKentic in 1999. The ballet was performed at St. Mary's Ricon High School and at the College of Southern Maryland's Leonard Town campus as a part of the county's yearly Halloween celebration. from 1999 to 2003 and again in 2006. The ballet recast the legend in the mould of a morality tale of feminism and tolerance. While Dyer was one of the historical figures that inspired the titillator character in the Blair Witch Project. The song Fire and Snow 2007 by folk rock duo Hobby Horse of San Francisco is about Moll Dyer. The Washington Times has called her perhaps Maryland's best known bit of witch lore. Local newspapers occasionally reprint the story. Moll Dyer Road, 3.4 miles south of Leonardtown, is named after her, as is the creek Moll Dyer's Run, which parallels the road, then crosses Route 5, goes past Our Lady Chapels on Medley's Neck Road, and eventually flows into Brenton Bay. Just in case you know you want to. And there you have it, the story behind the Blair Witch Project. If you liked this video, hit the like, and if you haven't, then please show support by subscribing to my channel. It would be great to have you here, and until the next video, take care and be well.